This story is making headline and we have to talk about it at least to let our listener to know what actually happened that led to the death of this innocent man and the extent the police had gone in their investigation. Ikechukwu Onuma, popularly called Ayaya Oye Obodo, was in his mid-30s and he was a staff of College of Health in Onitsha, Anambra State in Nigeria. In 2019, Ikechukwu decided to get married to Nkem Dilim without knowing that Nkem had a secret that she never divulged to him. Nkem Dilim was a lesbian. But along the line into the marriage, it became glaring to IK that Nkem Dilim was a lesbian, and even everybody on the street where they lived in inland town in Onitsha knew that Nkem was a lesbian. This did not go down well with Ikechu, who could not find a place to hide his face. That his beloved wife was into women, decided to end the marriage. So he sent Nkem Dilim back to her parents, and maybe her parents will be able to admonish her and tell her what to do and not what to do. But we know in these circumstances that both parties will come together to find a way to resolve the differences in this marriage. They would have told Nkem Dilim to drop this disgraceful act and face her husband, and would have advised Ikechukwu to accept his wife, that that was the act of the Satan or something. You know, that kind of a thing that they will tell you just to resolve the differences in a young marriage. And what we heard was that they later came back together and they were living happily until Ebele decided to surface, who was Nkem Delen's partner. According to what we heard, Ebele Onoshie was once married and she got divorced. She got divorced because of this lesbianism act. And she could not believe that Nkem Dilim had been taken away from her because Nkem Dilim decided to stop this disgraceful act. And she decided to turn to the family. Every opportunity that Ebele had to deal with her family, she jumped into it. And anytime Ikechukwu or Nkem Dilim sent their words to go buy something, once Ebere sees the word, she will stop the word and take the money from him. On Tuesday, August 9, 2022, Ikechukwu sent his word to go buy fuel because they needed to power their generator. They had no light. And he had a birthday party that he went for, and he was drinking with his friends when his phone rang, and it was Nkem Dilim calling him, telling him that the word he sent to go buy fuel, that Ebele Onoche accosted this little boy and took the money from him. Ikechukwu was so infuriated and he had to excuse his friends to go see why Ebele would take the money he gave his word to go buy fuel. When he got to Ebele's house and was asking Ebele a question, Ebele got so mad with him and asked Ikechukwu to leave her house, else she was going to stab him to death. Ikechukwu dared him, thinking Ebele was joking. Ebele ran into her house and grabbed a knife. And at this point, they had this serious altercation and they started fighting, and Ebele decided to stab Ikechukwu in the chest 2 times. And after stabbing him, Ebele decided to run. Ikechukwu was rushed to a chemist that rejected him and told them to take him to the hospital. And before they got to the hospital, Ikechukwu Onuma gave up the ghost. He died, and Ebele disappeared into the thin air. But she didn't run so far before police arrested her and they took her to the station. Ikechukwu Onuma's body has been deposited into the morgue. At this point, I want to give 3 views to this story. One, I want to come to Nkem Dilim. What will make a woman to be attracted to her fellow woman? Even when you decide to be a lesbian, you shouldn't have married. You should have just faced your female partner. And we all know that in Nigeria, our law forbids lesbianism. It attracts 14 years imprisonment. Why will you look the law in the face and decide to break the law? Now she is a widow because of act of her stupidity, and she's still going to face the law of being a lesbian. To Ebele Onochie, the tomboy, even if Nkem Dilim was asked to stop this disgraceful act and she heeded the advice of her parents and her people, why must you decide to fight back the family? Now you wanted to prove that you were a tomboy and you were the tough one. You decided to kill Ikechukwu, having 2 offenses in your neck. You have the offense of being a lesbian and you have the offense of a murderer. Now, the law does not smile on lesbianism and murder. You have the law to face. If you know that your marriage did not work and you needed to be a lesbian, why didn't you find a younger or a single lady like you and not a married woman? And when she decided that she was done with the lesbianism, why didn't you leave the family? And now you decided to fight back, killing an innocent man and you are going to face the wrath of the law. Even if the law is lenient on you to make you rot in jail, but you will not escape the wrath of the law. And now to Ikechukwu. We all know that before you get married to anybody, you have to ask questions. Even when you were dating this lady, did you not notice her character? Were people not telling you some things about this person you were about to marry? Maybe you felt you were going to change her after the marriage. Then you went ahead to the marriage, and at this point, you could not cope. And when it became so clear that she stopped and her partner was always looking for your trouble, you should have avoided this trouble. According to one of his friends that wrote on Facebook, he said he saw him earlier that day. I think they were drinking together before he decided to go and fight Ebele. And Ebele, that had nothing to lose, according to what he felt, decided to send him to his early grave. At this point, let us be very careful. It is not even wise to be unfaithful, even to the man or to the woman. If you're unfaithful to your partner, either you kill yourself or you kill your partner. It is an open secret that everybody knows. Face whoever you are married to. If you don't want to be married, you want to be into lesbianism or homosexuality, stick to it until the wrath of the law will get hold of you. Do not forget to like our page, follow us, share our videos, and stay subscribed so that whenever we bring an update on this story, you'll be the first to be notified.